let's start. First item on the agenda is apologies for absence. We have apologies from Councillor Margaret Belsey, Councillor Barron, Councillor Gibson, Councillor Peacock, Councillor Visser, and Councillor Tracy Hughes. Can we note those apologies, please? Thank you. Next item is to confirm the minutes of the Town Council meeting held on the 13th of May and 24th of June 2025. I'm happy to propose those minutes. I have a second of that. Thank you, Deputy Chairman. And I'll just quickly sign those using my Deputy Mayor's. Yes. We approve, yeah. We approve those, please. Yes, sure. Feeding through. Destination. Thank you, sorry about that. Next item, to receive any declarations of personal or pecuniary interest. Do we have any declarations? I see none. Town Mayor's announcements, item 26. Firstly, we have a work experience person coming to join us on the week commencing 14th of July. I know we've got other commitments that week, but if anybody is able to pop in to meet the work experience person and tell them about your role as a councillor or things that have interested you in the role, I know the work experience person will be much appreciative of seeing and hearing from yourself. I'm hoping to pop in myself on the Tuesday morning, 15. And just one more announcement. I should say, obviously, as I've been going to so I've been going to quite a few events. It's been lovely with good folk of East Grinstead. I couldn't have done it without the Deputy Town Mayor as well, but someone did highlight earlier that, of course, one of the events that Deputy Town Mayor went to was to see the Strolling Saxon. That was a 4 AM meeting, so particular noteworthy
24-hour service for your phone.
Deputy Town Mayor for your 4 AM. I was very sorry not to be this choice. And then the final announcement was just you may remember at the Mayor Making event I mentioned that we'd like to try to promote girl and women's sport within the town, particularly having friends and people with parents who say sometimes they find it difficult to get the right sport or the right fixtures for their daughters. And following that meeting, somebody's or group of people come up to me and said they share those concerns, and they've created a movement called Her Move, or Her Move East Grinstead, and it's pulling all those things together, all the sports together. So it's a community movement aimed at empowering women and girls through sport, just reach through sport, health, exercise, well-being, and sustainability. Following that earlier speech I made at Mayor Making, they're looking at us delivering real lasting impact across East Grinstead and beyond. We realise there's already quite a lot of initiatives in place within the community, but we're going to try and group those all together, identify other opportunities within those. Hopefully we will have a move as an ongoing legacy from this event. In this short space of time, we have set up a website, social media, we've got branding, and we're starting to pull together a calendar of events. I think we will end up hopefully with a festival of girls and women's sport around International Women's Day in March. I'm hoping that around that time we will also launch a Mayor's Cup, which would be a women's girls football match that will end in the same way that we currently have that other charity one. And there will be other events through the year leading up. We will have a gazebo at this Sunday's Eastport Live for anybody there. There'll be first people wearing the polo shirts, etc., able to explain a little bit more about it. But the key goals are inclusion through sport. So we're working with local sports clubs, places like My Tribe Tennis, Big Sister, Youth Fitness, football, hockey, netball, and other social clubs. We're working with Sports Council, from health and wellbeing, that will include events and talks with local GPs, physiotherapists, nutritionists. Everything we do is going to be sustainable. So we've got zero waste principles, using local vendors and green transport wherever possible, and legacy building, engaging with 30 local primary schools, the senior schools, clubs, and community groups to hopefully affect long-term change. And I think one of the key things for people, for the girls and women coming through, a lot of it is around sort of building their confidence. Sometimes they feel there's barriers to entry, and sometimes we haven't quite connected people who could actually all help and support each other. So hopefully it's in its incubancy, but it's so hopefully it could be a nice, quickly growing acorn, and we'll see what happens during the course of the year. But we will. Please, if you do see the people, it'd be nice to reach out and say hello. Item 27, to receive such communications leads with the council made to Lovely before the council. We have none. Item 28, dispose of any business outstanding from the last meeting. I think all of the actions identified have been dealt with or are elsewhere on this agenda, so we do not have any outstanding business. Item 29, to receive and consider the minutes of committees. If I may, I will hand it over to Councillor Gibbs to talk through the plan. So thank you, as that planning chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanner. Yes, so planning has come thick and fast at us again for the civic year. So I'd like to give my thanks very briefly to members of my committee, my vice chairman, town clerk, and deputy town clerk for their support. I wish to propose that council receive and consider the minutes for the meetings of the 20th of May, minute numbers 1 to 7, page numbers 1 to 2, and the minutes of the 10th of June, minute numbers 8 to 17, pages 3 to 4. And I have a second of that. Thank you very much. Before we approve that, does anyone have any comments? No, fantastic. Well, on that piece, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Tanner.
Thank you, Councillor Gibbs.
Do let me know if I've forgotten anything.
It sounds very good. Thank you. Next, that's environmental and sustainable travel. Now I'll hand over to Councillor Odie.
Thank you, Town Mayor. Yes, good evening, everybody. I'd like to propose the minutes of the Environment and Sustainable Travel Committee on the 20th of May. Minutes numbers 1 to 11, page numbers 1 to 3. Have a second, please. Second. Thank you, Councillor. I'd also just like to thank officers and staff for the B Award we got a few weeks ago. Well done, everybody. A lot of effort went into that, and feedback has been excellent, so thank you for that. So, would anybody have any comments with regards to those minutes? Can I have a vote, please, for that? Thank you
very much. Moving on to public services, and I'm going to hand to Councillor Reeves.
Thank you, Tanner. I would like the council to, I would propose that we receive and consider the minutes of the Public Services Committee on the 3rd of June, 1 to 11, pages 1 to 4. As ever, I'd like to thank my committee and the staff and officers, and to my deputy chair for a wonderful job. It remains a very important committee, holding most recently the police and some of our issues with traffic to account and to good scrutiny. So I need a seconder.
Yeah.
Before we go to a vote, any comments? All those in support? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reeves. And next to the Chair of Communities and Tourism, Councillor Godwin.
Thank you, Town Mayor. First, I'd like to thank members of our committee and also the officers for their support. A lot of big things going at the moment, so thank you very much for all the efforts you've made. I'd like to now propose the minutes of the Emerson Tourism Committee on the 17th of June 2025. Minute numbers 1 to 12 pages and we them to get forward. Can I please have a second? I'll second it. Thank you very much. Are there any comments? That's all vote, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Godwin. And finally, we move to F and GP, which I will move as from the chair. So could I propose that we approve the minutes 1 to 4 for the F and GP meeting on the 24th of June 2025? Would I have a second, please?
I will second that from there.
Thank you, Councillor Reeves. Has anyone got any comments on the minutes? No comments. Can we have a show of hands to approve those, please? Thank you very much. So that concludes that item. Thank you everyone for their all the work they put into all of those committees. I know, as people said, some big responsibilities there, and your assiduousness is very much appreciated. I'm going to move on to item 30, which is to note progress on the town improvements consultation. I think we're only noting here, but I'm going to pass this over to the town clerk who will give an update.
Yeah, as some of you are aware, some also than others, we have been working with Mid Sussex District Council and East Grinstead Business Association on the proposal to secure a consultant resource to complete a review of the town centre and identify improvements and ways to bring more traffic into the town. Not traffic, pedestrian. Not vehicular traffic, I want to clarify. Absolutely, thank you. And these went out to tender. The tender was produced in collaboration with ourselves, Mid Sussex, and the Business Association. And we have received 4 responses out of the 5 invited, which was really positive. About 10 days ago, we had a meeting to review the 4 tenders, and that was reduced from the 4 to the 2. The 2 that were shortlisted have attended interview with key members of the project team, and subject to some final questions being resolved, we're hoping to make a decision tomorrow in regards to which consultant will be instructed. The great thing for this is that the funding for this will be provided by Mid Sussex District Council, not ourselves. It's in the region of £20,000. So the timeline for completing the recommendation report is approximately 12 weeks. So once they've been instructed, we would hope to have something good to bring back to council for consideration and review towards September, October time, which is really positive. So yeah, and we will give further updates as soon as it's available.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any observations or comments or questions? Councillor Odie.
Thank you, Tamara. Thanks very much for that. I'm part of the shared service working group, and so whilst I really appreciate that this is excellent, I just wondered, because this is quite a big remit compared to the original idea, and I'm just concerned that the consultation will come through. Mid Sussex would only then really just help us with litter and dog bins and lighting and public rights of way or something, and not really get to the meat of the why the shared services working group was put in place. And I just wondered, what is there reassurances on that, or is it Mid Sussex?
No, so the remit is to look at the centre as a whole, and it would be to find quick wins, easy fixes, mid-term ones and longer-term ones to make improvements to the public realm as a whole. So certainly, when you talk about shared services, you mean the shared services as in pedestrianisation, whether temporary or between certain times of the day within the town. That's definitely something that will be looked at, but it's not the only thing that's being looked at. It's looking at the town as a whole. With regards to future projects that may come from that, those will need to be prioritised and funded outside of this project. So once we get the consultant report back, we can review that and decide what you want to take forwards and how.
So how does that sort of fit in with the shared services working group?
Well, considering what they've been looking at, is part what we're asking the consultancy to do is to review whether that is a viable option for the town.
Right.
Which is what you need to do.
Yeah.
First.
Fine.
Is that
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
perfect?
Councillor Pond.
Just to echo Odie's comment, I think, yeah, I had the same view, which was kind of like it's one bullet, reduce vehicular dominance through the town centre, which was one of 25 bullets. So recognising it's there, I suppose the view is just let's just make sure that's not the weighting is not equal across those bullets, and as much is done on the street lighting, you know, etc., etc. So I think that's just the point, just to make sure that the consultancy are very clear that is although it is 1 point out of 25, it is not necessarily only 1/25 of effort. It is, we want that to be a significant consideration, if that makes sense.
What we wanted to do is not go to them with solutions. It's for them to look at the town and to bring back their recommendations, viable recommendations for the town improvements. So that's why it's been approached in the way it has, and that's on the advice of Lara, who is a Mid Sussex district planning officer, who has a lot of experience in town centre and planning as well. So, and if we had gone with just a one item proposal, we would not have had funding from Mid Sussex to do that either. So we're taking it as the town as a whole, not just as that single item, which is why it's been presented the way it has.
My sense is you're saying to me a lot of options. Well, it would come up with a lot of options and all things
Yeah.
to consider.
Yeah.
And then the shared services working group will carry on doing its work,
Yeah.
and it will hopefully inform
Yes.
that
Future
work
projects.
going forward as to how easy
Yeah.
that might be, type,
Yes.
amongst other things. And then the
Absolutely.
council have to decide which ones it wants to
Yes.
take with.
Yes. Thank you.
Councillor, do you want to come back? Councillor?
Yeah, please. Sorry. So does that mean we still have some form of control over this in terms of what we want, or is it?
Absolutely, it's a partnership with Graham. He's been very
No, I mean,
Graham.
in Sussex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with Graham as well, who was instrumental in putting the scope of the tender together. The base of the tender was Graham's work, and then we reviewed it as a team, and he was very much involved in that. So this isn't something that Mid Sussex have created. We've created it across all three organisations.
Thank you. Councillor Pond.
And can we just make sure, because some of this has been done, you know, station to statue and improving that railway approach. There's already been work that's been done, so I couldn't see it being specifically referenced in the consultation. We just make sure they've got that. So again, they don't reinvent the wheel. That I think was done relatively recently in the last 5 years.
As in implemented or
No, there was a study done, I believe, with Mid Sussex that looked at the route from the station up to the statue and how it could be improved in terms of street lighting, in terms of hanging basket,
okay.
in terms that was already, I understood from there's other councillors that have been on file than I have, that discussions and conversations and recommendations I understood were presented and received,
Okay.
including limitations.
Sorry, I think there's two things. I think perhaps there's the LC whip, which was just as a route. There was no extra bits in terms of what they're talking about on this. But I think there was a master plan, but that was about 12 years ago.
Maybe it was a bit fun.
Yeah. Sorry.
I guess we will, from our town council perspective, just make sure that Lara, just making sure that not starting from square one, but from base, that they whatever information has already been done, they are fed back into the municipal council.
If it's the LC whip, then they've already got that.
Councillor Mott.
Thanks, you Town Mayor. Enhancement of the public land. This is going to involve the green stuff, isn't it? The trees, the nectar stops, provision of community gardens, things like that as well, if we can. Please.
The nectar stuff.
We do. Many.
Does anybody else want to make a contribution to this item? Okay, we're only noting this item anyway, but I know we will be taking our comments on board and I think we're broadly welcome of it, but just concerned that it doesn't include other things in the future, or that it's not that it uses evidence already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we've only got one item left on the agenda, but it is one that we would like to have on a confidential basis. So I'm happy to propose that we should exclude the press, broadcast media and public pursuant to Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960 during consideration of the following confidential business to be conducted. And can I say what it refers to? So it refers to St Margaret's Loo. Can I have a seconder for that, please?
I will second that.
Thank you. And I think the reason for it is that we are going to be potentially discussing potential contractors, prices, and that type of thing. So, can we vote on that, please? So I think that's approved. So that's ahead. Do we now stop? We conclude the meeting on camera because we won't be coming back on camera. So if anybody's watching, this is the end of the. Thank you for listening.